Circuit.com and the director of the Houston Comedy Film Festival, the first, the original at the Film Festival circuit, happening in just a couple of days. Houston Comedy Film Festival Fall 2022, our final program of the year, where you can see all kinds of comedy films, videos, everything from music videos to comedy series episodes, proof of concepts, pilots. You'll see dark comedy, romantic comedy, sketch comedy, horror comedy, stand-up comedy. You'll see pretty much every type of comedy you can think of, all content to make you laugh. And every single submission is 30 minutes or less. And we'll be screening a little bit over 4 hours of movies. And today we are joined by a film that is nominated for the most difficult category you can possibly be nominated for, and that's the best comedy film category. And the film is called Good Vibrations, which has been all over the film festival circuit. Judges in our entire circuit have loved this film nationwide, with a great screening in Oregon and great screening coming up in Portland and as well in Houston, Austin, just earlier this week, and even Georgia and Atlanta. We're going to be screening this one in December. So this one is here, there, and everywhere, and loved by many groups of people. Thank you all for joining me. So I'm going to go with Krista to kick it off, and ask you about the synopsis of Good Vibrations. Can you break it down for us in your own words, please?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll start off with the log line. A young woman searches for the perfect sex toy after her most trusted device leaves her hanging out to dry. So, yeah, this takes place with the journey of a woman whose device breaks down, and they kind of go through a little breakup phase. And so she must re-enter the dating world to find Mr. Right vibrator.
All right. Well, now the audience knows what Good Vibrations is kind of all about, but we don't know why in the world you would make this, Krista. I'm going to stay with you since, of course, you're the lead actor in this, and of course, we're co-writing on a story. Talk to me. Why? Give me reasons.
Yeah. So, well, first of all, this happened to me. My most trusted device, after a 10 years long relationship, finally died on me. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, how am I going to replace this thing? You know, we've had a really strong relationship for 10 years. And it just felt like I was going through a real breakup. And, my friend at the time was like, what's the big deal? Just find a new one, just get something else, replace it. I don't know, mix it up. And I was like, no, you don't understand. Like, we've been through some tough times together, this one. So it happened to me, and I just thought it was kind of funny. Like when I went to the sex store and I was looking at all the different options, and just like, there's a lot of options out there. And yeah, it was a little overwhelming. And I just thought, like, this is so silly and funny. Or I started talking to some of my friends about it, like, which ones do you have? And what should I try? And it was almost like it wasn't the norm to talk about it. Like, some of my friends never tried one before, or it came with such embarrassment to talk about it, for women to talk about it. And so I thought it would be interesting to make a movie about this experience, because it can be silly, and then all these ideas started popping in my head, and I was like, I'm just gonna write about this. But I've always observed that with guys, it's been, guys talk about masturbation and joke about it, and it's very normal, right? It's like being part of the gang, part of the club, to talk about it and joke about it. And so I thought, why can't that be the same way with women? Why can't we talk about it? Why can't we joke about it? Why can't it be accepted? So I'm just trying to deconstruct that. I guess I'm trying to make it normal. It's totally natural. It's okay. So let's start talking about it. Let's make a movie about it, and let's have fun.
Mike, I think you're muted.
Oh,
Sorry,
yeah, okay. I
sorry,
thought that was
muted. I
me
have
for
some
a second.
construction going on in the background, and I was talking to myself. But I'm going to go to Risa on the next one to talk about. You saw this script, you saw this project. You're like, I'm going to be involved. Um, how did this all happen, and what were you thinking when you first heard about this?
Well, Krista and I had been friends for several years before we met in acting class. We were both actors, but wanting to tell stories, and we've done some little things before. And when she sent the script to me, I just sat and read it and laughed of like snot coming out. And I thought, if I'm laughing this much just reading it on the page, this is going to be really, really fun to make. And it really was. And this team is just so much fun to work with. And that's something that I've learned, that if you're making a comedy, and I think Krista really put together an amazing team.
You know, one of the most explosive laughter moments in the film is your reaction in the film. And I don't want to give it away, but you do like this like wink, like thumbs up thing, or this wink. And I forgot which one it was, but I mean, just I've seen like 4 cities now roll on the ground at the exact same second
Really?
of the film. So good job on that. And it's great when the look just sells it all, you know, and it was really, really funny. Um, is this, Risa, stay with you. Is this something that um, you think it breaks down some of the stereotypes, or maybe some of the, I don't know, some of the societal norms? I don't even know the proper word for it, but do you see this helping, or do you see it like, you know, I don't know, putting it out in the open? Like, what were you thinking when you took on this role?
I definitely do think that women are more comfortable talking about it, and I love the fact that Krista and I could talk about it freely. But the fact that we brought in guys and we could talk about it with them and joke about it on set, and we had a lot of them on set at one point, and it wasn't uncomfortable to me. I thought it was so funny, and I enjoyed it. So I think we are changing the narrative.
Good stuff. Well, let's go down to you, Michael. You know, obviously, we're on the writing end of this thing, directing, and you know, ushering this bad boy from, you know, pre-production all the way to the end. So creatively, why did you want to do this? What was it in for you?
Well, I think it started off with just encouraging Krista to write more. And she kind of blasted through, like, I don't know, like 6 or 7 shorts that she sent me. And, you know, largely most of them were dramas. And Krista's a dramatic actress and has done a lot of dramas. But I've always uh, thought that she had a knack for comedy. We kind of, grew up in a family where we're always laughing and joking, and probably had a mom that took the joke a little too far sometimes, and that's where we kind of get a little bit of um, creative inspiration for taking the joke. I don't think that far with Good Vibrations, but far enough to hopefully get some laughs and make people cringe a little bit. So I read, all Krista's scripts that she sent me, and um, I thought Good Vibrations was, one that definitely was rooted in something that we could create and do and execute, and at the same time, give her a chance to show off some of her comedic skill set, at least, take a step in the right direction towards that. And I didn't expect it to be a huge leap like it was with Good Vibrations, but with everyone on the team kind of pulling their weight and really crushing this project, we executed fairly well, and had a great time doing it. So that's kind of where I came from. And I said, Chris, I was like, you've got something here. And um, she said, well, I wanna finance one of these projects. And she really got behind this one and said, let's go for it. And really took the bull by the horns and trying to put a team together and make this thing happen. So we sat down and we, took what she had initially in that first couple drafts of Good Vibrations, and just crafted some more jokes and gave it a little bit more structure and rounded it out a bit more so that we could kind of execute it with all the materials and people and resources around us. And that's kind of where everybody came together, and we got this tight knit crew to work within 2 days to really push through and nail this project down. And Like Risa said, we had a great time. It was so much fun on set, and everything really came together.
All right, it definitely came together. A good project here, and I got to go to John here to talk about. I could just imagine you as the DP saying like, "What's this film about?" I can just see you on the set going, "All right, we need an insert shot of the rainbow dildo." I don't know how this all goes, but
yeah, totally. No, I mean, well, that was the thing we kind of came up with too, is like all the colors, I think, were inspired by how colorful all these things were, and just like the wide range of stuff. But yeah, coming into the project, like pretty much what like Risa said. When I read the script, I laughed so hard immediately, so I knew like, okay, this is gonna be great. And Michael and I had worked together a bunch already, so I knew we work well together. He introduced the script and the story to me, and yeah, I just knew immediately like it was gonna be a lot of fun. I saw reading the montage scenes and some of the sort of dreamlike sequences that I knew those would be a lot of fun to shoot. So I was really excited for those immediately too. It just really got the creative juices flowing. I think that just speaks to how well written the script was, that, it just sparked all these ideas and visuals immediately reading it. So it was really exciting to get to jump onto this project.
I noticed something when I was on location and on set for my sound guy career, which was 15 years long. And independent films love to shoot in like convenience stores because you had all the colors of the candy bars and the different bottles of soda and like all the like coffee machines. And there's just like so many. It's like a room full of props, of colorful props. And then I saw your film. I think you got that concept beat, guys, but good job on this. And I think also kudos to you for the editing beats and moments. Making comedy and cutting that together is a very different animal than trying to cut together like a tension scene or an action sequence or something like that. What'd you learn, John, while you were cutting this thing together?
Yeah, I mean, I think I learned so much working on this. It's hard to pinpoint one thing in particular, but I think to me it was always just like what gives the biggest laugh was what kind of pushed me through the editing process. Like whatever timing just hit, it's really hard to like put that into a like pithy kind of statement, but it's just like I just always was just kind of, and I think the pacing actually was one of the big things, like the speed of the comedy. I think I've edited a lot of other more dramatic or horror, or just other things that, yeah, like you said, you have to let the tension build a bit more. But I think here, just realizing like, oh, like the back and forth of, especially like the scene between Risa and Krista in the shop, like from where it started to where it ended up, like we cut out a lot of dialogue. We cut it, like it just went down to this really snappy kind of conversation. So yeah, I think just learning that fast-paced nature of the comedy, and then also as shooting and editing, I think with the montage sequence, realize like you can't have enough for a montage sequence. Like just shoot, because I've found that that we used every single shot that we shot for the montage sequence of her trying out all the different sex toys. So like maybe we might have even used a few more, to be honest, like pace it up a little bit faster. But I mean, I'm really happy with how it came out. Oh, sorry, broke up a little bit there.
All right, someone give me a thumbs up if you can hear me okay. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was trying to unmute myself and couldn't. Well, moving on a little bit more of the learning experiences. Risa, did you learn anything from this one? Is this I know every single shoot's a little bit of film school, and since it looks like you took multiple roles as a producer and an actor, what did you learn from this project?
I know I talked about it a little bit, but I didn't realize how important it was that everybody on set adds an energy to comedy. So the fact that, obviously Michael, I knew that he was funny. John, I just met for this project. He's really funny too. Our sound guy, makeup. I think everybody's energy is important on a comedy set. So that's what I learned, that if I ever do a comedy again, we're going to have funny people.
What about you, Michael? Same question.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Risa, and we definitely had like a vibe and an energy on set where things went our way. I mean, even when we had problems arise, which is of course normal for any production, I'd be surprised if problems don't show up. We dealt with them, and we had a little bit of luck too, kind of adding back to your point about like the convenience store and using props and having that color and everything like that. I think with some of the stuff we like, I think, and Krista, you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but like some of the jokes in the script, especially with like the like funnier, funniest, like when you pick up the first dildo and then the second one, I think we were just like grabbing stuff off the shelf, like this is funny, like we should use this one, or let's use this one and let's make this that scene, and we kind of rolled with that, and I think that really was a fun part of the experience, is that seeing that actually work out too in the edit, and those jokes coming to fruition, because again, like, and this is all part of my learning experience, comedy's tough, everything's tough, right? But trying to execute these beats and the timing of it all, it's easier said than done, and some things you do have to let go in the script, and that was probably a hard part for me, is in that learning experience, is like, okay, this isn't working, let's pivot here and just try to make this happen, especially when we're working within the time constraints of a 2-day shoot like we had, and we had a certain window to work with the location, the sex shop location that we were shooting at, and those time constraints kind of pushed us to the limit, and we still made it out of there with what we needed to kind of put this film together in a manner that we felt comfortable with, that would be getting some laughs. And again, and that's also at the when you see the final project, I'm a perfectionist, so I'm like, we should have done this, we should have done that, but at the end of the day, I feel relief in that we really pulled our weight together and executed as a team, and it's rewarding to be doing well in the festival circuit, so it's a give and take, and a push and pull, and I guess that's just like, that inner artist in me that always wants to be better, and at the end of the day, you let that go and just enjoy the ride like we are now.
All right. Well, coming up to you, Krista, to wrap it all up. Any learning experiences from this one?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you just fine. Thank you.
All right, great. So first, from the acting perspective, like Michael mentioned, I had done a lot of drama, really loved drama acting, and so this was my first comedy, and it was definitely a little intimidating. And I think that what I learned was to really have fun and not be afraid to try new things or improv, go off script, and especially in the sex store when we were working with all these different toys, and just like how my reaction would be to them, and just not being afraid to try something that I thought could be funny or could work. And I think one moment that I remember was like I pulled off this really long skinny blue sex toy, and it just reminded me of like a lightsaber, and so it was just like, yeah, like like, and like I didn't know that was gonna be funny or not, but we ended up keeping that take in the final cut, and it makes me laugh every time. And so yeah, I think it's really important as an actor to not be afraid to be vulnerable, to take chances. Sometimes it might not work, and that's okay. And I think maybe even the most important part is to not judge yourself when something doesn't work out, because then it will prevent you from trying in the future. So learn to let it go, have fun, don't judge yourself, don't get in your head, and yeah, just try things out.
from a producer standpoint, I think that you can never have enough time or enough, it takes, like John mentioned with the montage. I could have sworn we filmed every possible thing. But yeah, we could have always filmed more or given us a little more time to not feel rushed. But honestly, everyone's energy was so great. Just yeah, like we were all having fun, and I think that is really important to what Risa was saying. To be surrounded by a crew that it has good energy, has everyone's best interest at heart, and it's just cracking jokes on set and bringing that comedy, behind the scenes, not just on camera. So I have just so much love and appreciation for my whole team who helped make this happen. I'm just incredibly grateful.
All right, good stuff. Was there anything you want to add, Chris, before we go?
Gosh, I don't think so. Thank you so much, Michael, for hosting this interview. And it was so great to meet you at the Oregon, in person at the Oregon Short Film Festival. And it's just incredible how well our film is doing at all these festivals. So I hope we can just keep it going.
All right. Well, hey, I appreciate all of you for making the time today. And we'll be looking forward to screening your film in just a couple of days in Houston. We'll let you know how it goes. I told you earlier that at Texas Short Film Festival, we actually had a couple of clutch your pearl moments from a couple ladies that maybe the content was too risky for them and they left. But that's okay. You know what? That's what it's all about. It's a comedy film festival. You're going to get offended at some point. We've got some crazy stuff that we screen. And this one always brings the laughs. So thank you to you and your team for giving us such a great film. All right.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
We appreciate the nomination too.
Absolutely.
Good stuff. Yeah, you make us look good. It was an easy nomination, not a bad score, not a single bad scorecard of the house. Really, you guys did great. So
Awesome.
Well, best of luck to all of you. We'll see you in the future in the film festival circuit.
Thanks,
All right.
Michael.
Thank you.
Hey.